Hey all, here at OS Reviews. Today we're taking a quick look at another pair of IEMs, or in-ear monitors, which are HiFi certified from Hidizs. Last time we took a look at one of their more flagship-oriented planar magnetic buds, which offered amazing audio quality, but it's also on the more pricey side of the spectrum, versus these MS1-Galaxies are more conventional pairs with regular drivers, but also a lot more affordable, while retaining kind of an interesting beautiful aesthetic. Some of the specs here include 10mm dual drivers. There's a PU and also a PEEK dynamic driver inside, frequency range of 20 to 40,000 Hertz being quite wide. So just as a reminder, these IEMs do use a traditional 3.5 or 4.4mm wire. It's the antithesis of a wireless pair of headphones, which go after convenience, however may result in some loss of detail, because at the end of the day, as good as codecs like LDAC as well as aptX are, they're still lossy signals using Bluetooth, which means a part of the sound will be compressed and lost when being sent wirelessly. That is compared to a wired connection, which is completely analog. It's going to be truly hi-fi grade without any static, any hissing, and of course no charging to consider, but you'll have to bear with a wire as a trade-off. They do have multiple colors that you can pick between. It might be also a good choice for not only music listening, but doing a bit of gaming as well for some extra immersion, at least with some of the kind of logos that they're going for here, and should provide still fairly detailed audio reproduction. Like most IEMs, the wire will kind of fit over the outside of your ear, providing a little bit more of a snug fit as well if you're lightly moving around, though not exactly advertised for sports and vigorous exercise. And then on the inside, we have these IEMs, looks like in the blue color. And then down below here, we have the aforementioned two other sets of silicone tips just to get a more snug fit, smaller versus larger, and as well as the cable here is braided as well as gold plated, so still feels very premium. And more importantly, it does include a built-in microphone for answering calls and also a play pause button as well. Then there's just a quick user guide, and they claim that this is still a part of their same Mermaid series. So here's a closer look at these IEMs. Again, just very eye-catching, made out of a polycarbonate resin that is translucent. You can kind of see the drivers on the other side, which is pretty neat, and just a kind of texture there on the very top is what is responsible for that 3D effect. Otherwise, there is a little bit of unused space, it seems like. Perhaps it just did this to make the shape a little bit more molded and ergonomic, form-fitting when you're wearing them. The actual mesh here is also constructed out of metal, although it can't be actually removed or detached, of course, and then just use the standard MMCX cables, so you can swap this out for other ones if it ever fries. Moving into performance, as for pros, they are super lightweight. Again, because of this polycarbonate resin finish, they are comfy even for longer listening sessions. It didn't cause really any fatigue, so you can definitely go through entire albums. They feel almost weightless as you are popping them in. As for sound quality and performance though, that is a little bit of an interesting situation because it's a misfortune to go right after the MP145s, which are perhaps one of the best sounding IEMs with their planar magnetic drivers. It's like comparing first class with business class or economy class. So right after you've tasted something that is super delicious, everything else you kind of are subconsciously comparing it against, even if these are supposed to be in a much lower cost price bracket. You do notice how things are just a slight notch down by comparison. With that being said, in a vacuum, these are already very awesome sounding IEMs, primarily again super stylish and comfortable. They are dynamic sounding, so do pack a punch in terms of bass. You definitely hear it. They don't require too much power or even volume to drive, but it's never too overpowering, I would say. Even mids and trebles have sufficient details that if you're listening to pop music, acoustic tracks in general, they can still shine and give you a pretty satisfactory result. They don't have any distortion, and as wired headphones, you obviously don't have to worry about latency either. So compared to, again, those planar headphones, it's just those were even tighter. Details were pushed even more to the extreme when it came to the fringes of vocal textures and trebles. But on here, I would say you get close to 85% reproduction, but just in a package which is lighter, perhaps a better value at the end of the day. So if you like the way that they look, I would say it's still a fairly distinctive pair of IEMs that does punch slightly above its weight class. You can check out more details if interested in the links down below, but for now that's been our quick look. Thanks for watching here at OS Reviews. That's been the Hidizs MS1-Galaxy.